A very good evening to one and all present here. On behalf of Directorate of Alumni Affairs, I, Anushka,
And I, Revati, welcome you all to another episode of Women's Leadership Talk.
every day should be celebrated as Women's Day. However, to honor their achievements, the UN announced March 8 as International Women's Day. It is a day to acknowledge the courage of breaking the rigid stereotypes and coming out as strong, powerful women.
Women who have made important contributions to science and society. Ada Lovelace was the first to write an algorithm. Marie Curie helped discover radium and polonium. Rosalind Franklin discovered the structure of DNA.
Many of our gods are female, and they have been worshipped by many faithful people. The goddess of wealth is Lakshmi, the goddess of power and strength is Durga, and the goddess of wisdom is Saraswati. On that note, I would like to wish all the ladies present here a very happy International Women's Day.
On this occasion, we have three of our alumni as guest speakers. Now, I am thrilled to introduce our first speaker for the day, Ms. Hema Sampath Kumar. She graduated from SRM in 2008 with a degree in bioinformatics. She went on to complete her master's in Wilmington University in the US in 2015. She is a data analytics professional and makes data-based business decisions. Ms. Hema Sampath is currently working for JP Morgan Chase in Delaware as the Vice President of Digital Transformation. Her journey from a small town in Tamil Nadu to working in a multinational company proves her discipline and tenacity. She is an optimist and a lifelong learner. She enjoys mentoring young talents across the world. She is a great example of what women can achieve if we set our minds to it. With this, I request her to share a few words with the audience.
Thank you, Anushka and Revati. Hi, everyone. I would like to express my first of all thanks to the SRM Alumni Association. So without this, I wouldn't be here. So with that, I will start my intro. So I'm Hema Sampath Kumar. I'm currently working as a vice president in JP Morgan Chase. So I run a a startup within the startup, I would say. We have around 1,000 internal users. My team manages the process automation, optimization, and data analytics projects for the internal users. So we help business make data-based business decisions. With that said, I would like to share how I started my journey. So I come from a small village in Tamil Nadu, and I just I was just taught only to have some dreams and achieve it and then repeat the same. And my turning point is SRM, I would say. The reason is coming from a small village, this SRM has given me the key to the world. It gave me exposure to see different types of people and with different backgrounds and different exposure. So coming here was the first turning point of my life. I learned a lot of things in this college. So name some things. First thing, confident. So the first 18 years of my life, I was at home, right? So this was my first time in the life I stepped out of my home and I lived in the hostel for the 4 years. That one experience has taught me a lot of things. To run things independently and make my own decisions and be accountable for it, be it right or wrong, right? So I learned don't be afraid to make some mistakes, and I learned from the mistakes and I define myself. And exposure, the next one, right? So I got to know some incredible teachers who guide me and being as my mentors to help me be in this position right now. And I would say my next step is coming to the US. um, when I came to the US, it was a new continent, so it was all new. But I saw what the reason is the base came from SRM, right? I just got the confidence to have the confidence to achieve anything, if you put your mind, heart, and soul into it. And I would also to share my success mantra. So it is, as you heard me say, it is have some dreams, and then achieve it and then repeat it and move on to the next dream. So this has been my success mantra all my life, and I would like to share some of the steps how I reach this achieve part. So at first, I identified the passion, what is the thing I liked. So did I research, and even do to connect the dots, to understand the numbers, what is the story behind the numbers. So that is what driven me to be where I'm here. So for example, and also I connected the dots. I studied bioinformatics in SRM, but I am in a bank. So when you see from an outer perspective, you wouldn't connect the dots. But if you see the each and every courses I learned in bioinformatics is the data science course. So instead of applying it in the bio side, I just applied it in the finance side. So that is how I was able to achieve things easily. And this one so many people helped me, including my parents and my brother, and my family, my husband, kids, everyone, and my teachers, mentors, friends. So without whom I wouldn't be here. So this, I'm just a product of all everyone's success, and their wishes, dreams, which I'm sitting here. So I would say to you, my some of the things I would share in order to be a successful person like me here is just don't be identify your passion, set some goals, right, and work towards it. And the fourth one is don't afraid to take risk. Do take risk. Whatever comes out of it, it will help you shape your life in the future. If it works good, then it is it is taking you out of your comfort zone. You get success. If you are failure, that is fine. You will learn some lesson from it, and then you move on, so that you don't repeat that same mistake in your life again. And then the last one is the connecting the dots, right? Once if someone would have told me on the first day of my SRM that I would be sitting here delivering this speech to you all, I would have joked, I would have laughed. But this is the reality right now. The reason is I just connected the dots. If I go back and see it all makes sense. I joined as a fresh mind in SRM, and then I helped myself learn a lot of things, and I just connected the dots, and then I came here. So to you all, I would say the same thing. So, but as you come through this journey, I would also share some set of values that that will help you to stay in that success. The first one is be a lifelong student. When I say lifelong student, don't think your the studies will end this 4 or 5 years or even 6 years time, right? So be a lifelong student, learn from each and everything from everyone. So that will help you be a lifelong student, and learn something new every time, and then be amazed about how this little incident has taught something new, and how can I apply in my life, and how can I get success, and then how can I help others to come to this position, right? And second thing is integrity. So whatever happens, just don't be afraid to be true to yourself. So don't tell lies, just be true to yourself. If you feel it is not the right thing to do, have the guts to say it. At the end, you won't regret it. The third one is you do all the things in your circumference, and some of the items are out of your hand. So what do you do on that, right? It's pray. If you believe in God, if you don't believe, then just meditate, right? I would like to quote APJ Dr. Abdul Kalam's words here. So just look at the sky. The whole world is waiting for you to help you. So you put your mind and work to it. So I would say just do whatever the things you can do in your limits, and rest, leave it to God. It will happen for sure. I'm a living example. So with that said, I would like to thank for this opportunity, and I wish you all the best success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your valuable experience with us. I am sure each and every one of us has learned something new today. Our next speaker is Ms. Shilpaji Manari. She completed her civil engineering at SRM University in 2010 and has accomplished a lot since then. She received her master's in civil engineering from Clarkson University. She went on to complete a program for leadership development in Harvard Business School in 2019. She volunteered at a non-profit organization, Make a Difference, and became a member of its board of directors. Currently, she is the founder and CEO of her company's Authentic Living and Thrive Culture. It focuses on helping enthusiastic young people, especially women, to reach their true potential. Not only that, she is also a transformation coach and public speaker. She truly is a great leader. And now I request her to share her journey with us. We welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, Revati. Thank you, Anushka. And good evening to all of you. It's a pleasure to be here, especially to hear what Hema just said. And I think there is like a set formula for success, and I'm sure you would be hearing pieces of similar things because there are certain qualities and practices and mindsets we got to have in place to be able to follow our dreams and to be able to get to a place in life. So I'm very excited to be here, and I'm honored for this opportunity because I'm someone who strongly believes that it doesn't matter what gender we are, equitable outcomes, like outcomes that enable us to reach our best potential and realize all our dreams, is something that all of us deserve and all of us are also equipped with as long as we are ready to work towards it, right? And so I'm really grateful to be here, and I do want to thank SRM's Alumni Association for inviting me to be a part of this opportunity. I really hope that all of you are able to take one or two things back and apply it in your life as you are completing your college, as well as thinking about what to do for the future. For me, the journey has been quite interesting and quite diverse. I still remember the first day when I entered SRM. We were around 8 girls in our class, and the rest, 50, 60 were boys. And remember walking in and telling myself, you know what, this is the first day of the rest of my life. So who do I want to be? Like that was a question I'd asked myself, and my decision was to take chance at every opportunity that I got. And I think SRM has given me that opportunity where I was part of so many curricular, extracurricular activities while I was in the university, part of the civil association. So along with studying, I think I really got to explore so many aspects of me, which is all tying together right now. That time I didn't know. I was just somebody who wanted to like jump in and explore whatever chance came my way. So I finished my college, and then I knew that I wanted to do my master's in engineering as well. So I went to US. So that gave me an experience in research, and I finished that. I came back to India. Then I joined like civil engineering firm, and I was working there for a while, and that's when I started volunteering. And then it took another trajectory. And as I think Hema just mentioned too, right? Like where you start may not be where you end, but all the way through, you actually pick up transferable skills. Because what I learned when I was studying engineering was analytical skills, was critical thinking skills, and how do you be structured, right? And that's something that I could translate into my masters. And over there, I picked up research and skills, like just to look at documents and understand what is real, what is not, how do you dive into subjects. And it taught me how to teach myself and how to be like a student for life. And again, that's one more thing that Hema had spoken as well. And that's so critical because it's so important for us to invest in ourselves and do whatever it takes to actually build those skills that's required for ourselves too. So that's one thing that I picked up when I was doing my masters, and then I came back to India. And when I joined the volunteering organization Make a Difference is when I got exposed to the other side of the world, where what it feels like to actually support children, because we were working with vulnerable children, and what does it mean like to work with young crowd every day and to watch and see how they're inspired and what actions they take and so on. So I joined them full time, and I was with them from 2012 till 2019 end. So over there, I think that's one of those platforms where I learned a lot about leadership skills. How do you manage people, and how do you build a culture of authenticity? How do you build a culture of care? Because if you look around you, I'm sure if you just sit back and think, if you are in college right now or wherever you are in life, there's always been people who back you up, right? And you've always had people who are saying, you know what, go for it. Even if you're scared, they're like, I know, I believe in you. So that's one thing that I picked up from there, where I just understood the value of people and the value of investing in people as well, because so many people had invested in me. I had great mentors. And also, it also taught me that whole last 10 years, and what it's taught me is that it's possible to make your dreams come true. Like I was 7 years or 10 years old when I had thought that, you know what, I want to go to Harvard and do an MBA. I didn't know what that place was. I just randomly read it somewhere and I'm like, I want to do that. Did not question myself as to, is it even possible? Nobody in my family has done that before. Like, what is the potential? What is the possibility? I did not ask myself any of that question. Instead, just had that dream and I forgot about it for a while. And one fine day I decided, you know what, let me apply for this program. It's an alternative to executive MBA. And I applied, I got in, I went there and I studied. And in that moment, I think more than me having gone and studied, what I learned from that whole, the whole incident is that one, it's possible for us to realize our dreams, right? And that's possible if you are going to be brave, if you are going to take chances, if you're not going to worry about what people will think, if you're not going to question your own self as to, is it even possible for me to do it? I don't think that's possible. Like, the more questions we ask ourselves as to, is it possible, we are curtailing our ability to do more. Right? So instead, if you can just jump in and say, you know what, I want to try this, and I want to try this also, and it's okay if I fail, because if I fail, I'm learning something new from that, and if I succeed, I succeed, right? So I think that's been like one big piece of the kind of person I have been. It's always about participating. It's always about taking chances. It's about being brave, and it's also about being comfortable with change. If you really think about it from the, like, if you look back at your photograph from 10 years back to now, you're not the same person, right? You are quite different. But yet, anytime there is a change, we become very scared of it because it's the unknown. And that's natural, it's understandable, it's the way human behavior. But if while you are in college itself, if you can just do activities that make you comfortable with change, then as you're going forward in life, that's something that will help you significantly. Like, very simple example is, instead of brushing with your right hand, start brushing with your left hand, because then your brain suddenly says, oh, this is different, but it's safe. So can I try more of things that is different, and yet it will be safe? So yeah, so that's something, that's another piece that I would suggest to all of you. And I would also say that as a woman, like if there are women in this audience, you come in with like as many skill sets as a man, or rather, I think all of us are born human, and each of us as human comes in with certain skill sets, certain qualities, and certain areas of growth. So just knowing for ourselves that these are the things that I'm great at, and these are the things that I need to improve upon, gives you so much of confidence. And every day you inputting into the toolkit will help you go places. Right? So that's the other piece, and the other piece that I want to talk about as well. And the other aspect that I really wanted to say is, treat people the way you want to be treated. Because in college, it's very easy for us to like rag each other and make fun and all of that. But when you step out, and it's great, it's a great way to build friendships, but you just don't know what story somebody is coming in with, right? Like the person you're interacting with at any point of time. So wherever you go in life, if you can just sit back and think, hey, how would I like to be treated? Would I like to be treated kindly? Would I like to be treated with compassion, with respect? And is that something that you can serve anybody around you? Like, be it somebody who's 10 years older, 10 years younger, you'll be able to make a huge impact in other people's life just by being yourself, just by your presence, because you'll create that space for people around you to feel good, to feel safe, and to also try and express themselves or try their skill sets out without having to worry about whether anybody's going to make fun of it or not. So that's the other piece that I do want to say. And lastly, the one more thing that I want to say is, there are a lot of glass ceilings for us to break. And I think it's possible for everybody here to definitely do that. Just have the discipline. Like, habits can make you or break you. And I'm sure, Hema, Sweety, everybody would side with me in this, on this whole point, that we are able to do a lot of things because of the discipline that we have been able to build in. And so if you can just focus on building those habits that help you, and building those mindsets that enable you, And anytime you're facing a challenge, you can just sit down and ask yourself, okay, what are the barriers? Are there barriers in my head? Are there barriers in the environment? And then how can I tackle it? And if students of, I don't know who all are here, but if you're students of engineering, we all come in already with that skill set of analyzing things. So if we can apply it to our own life, that's something that will really help us. So that's the other piece. And lastly, I would say dream big. Like it is possible. The only people who have been able to achieve a lot are the ones who are able to see things that hasn't already existed. Right? So it's possible for us to dream big. Like it doesn't matter where you start. It's about today and what do you do going from today. So wishing everybody all the very best and a very happy Women's Day in advance to all of you. And thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We are genuinely honored to have you here with us today. I hope your words have inspired our audience to take more chances and follow their dreams. Now, I am indeed grateful to have this opportunity to introduce our next speaker, Ms. Sweety Pate. She completed her degree in aerospace engineering in 2013 at SRM University. She received her master's degree from Delft University of Technology in Belgium. She then went on to become a launch crew member of the Status 2 Plus rocket. She worked at Thales Alenia Space in Italy before working for the Poland Mars Analog Simulation Mission in 2017. Not only this, she is also leading the Women in Aerospace organization in Europe. Ms. Sweety is currently working for Qinetiq Belgium as a satellite operations system engineer. She has received numerous awards and her list of accomplishments are endless. So without further ado, I would request Sweety ma'am to address the audience.
Thank you, Revati and Anushka, for such a lovely introduction. Hi, everyone. Since I come from SRM University in Chennai, I would like to say, Vanakkam Chennai. As a proud alumna of SRM University, it's a great pleasure to be here with all of you on this special occasion of International Women's Day celebration. This day is dedicated to celebrate the cultural, social, and professional, as well as the political achievements of women and reflect on the issues they face globally. Education is one of the greatest game changers for women and girls around the world. It is both enabler and force multiplier for women's economic, political, and social empowerment. And as well as, it's very important to know, it's gender equality. It's not racing to be to take more power than men, but it's about gender equality, getting equal rights. It's rightly said, dreams are not what you see in your sleep. Dreams are something that doesn't let you sleep. And remember, my friends, dreams without goals are just dreams. I'm here to share with you all a journey from my dreams to a reality, a journey where I became the author of my own story. As a child, I was always fascinated by space objects and flying robots. I think who else is not? I mean, everybody likes stars and planets, and that was my dream as well. Will there be life on planets? Are there aliens? And will there be some life that I can go and explore other planets? How can I go there? Such kind of questions were also there in my mind right from my childhood. And inspired by my family, I decided to follow this passion of aerospace and science and technology. At the time when I was in 10th standard, my friends, my classmates, they were actually enjoying their vacation after the board. And I was preparing for the quota IIT JEE classes, entrance exam. Yes, there's an entrance exam as well for getting into the coaching class. So I was preparing for my, during that time for the entrance exam. And I was pretty confident that I will get into the IIT JEE exam, I'll crack it and I'll get into IITs. But unfortunately, I could not get in. And my journey, I would say, started with a failure. But I can say that we either see it as we either win or we look at it as an opportunity to learn. I should never look at it as a failure. And I got the admission in SRM University, which is amazing. And I think that was the best choice of my life. My journey started in aerospace engineering in 2009 at SRM University. And Right from the first year, I participated in several projects at the universities. I was always busy with working on water rockets, robots, RC gliders, and spent most of the time in the aerospace hangar, which was there right when we started. I think in 2008, they started building the aerospace hangar, and when we were there in the university, it was really nice and was very fun to work with the aircrafts and engines and the wind tunnel facilities there. I think that was the best part of me to learn the concepts in a practical way and build my fundamentals for aerospace engineering. So then afterwards, in the first year itself, I got an opportunity to go to Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology in Trivandrum and for a workshop from the university. And there I got a golden opportunity to meet and attend the speech of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. I could not call him late because he is, I think, in heart of all the students and who are following their passions. I think he's the person whose books everybody reads, Ignited Minds, and I'm a great follower of him. Who gave the mantra to be an ideal citizen of the world. I think the real definition of knowledge, what knowledge is about creativity, righteousness, and then courage in your heart. So courage, righteousness in your heart. These three fundamental parts are very important when you define a knowledge. And I think I was very lucky to meet him, and that really inspired and triggered my motivation towards aerospace and trying out different fields. I mean, trying out, exploring other opportunities within aerospace. And in 2010, in the university, I came across a global challenge that was organized by NASA, and that asked for eco-friendly passenger aircraft designs from all over the world. So I participated in the challenge and worked day and night to get with the innovative design concepts. There were several problems within the team, so we had a team in the university. Some of them backed out, and a lot of things were going on in the life and in the team. So but I never gave up. I actually, in fact, I was really enjoying the process of exploring the available books in the libraries and the research publications about the aircrafts. And you know what? I submitted the design. We also got a lot of good feedbacks from the aerospace faculty, the amazing faculty in aerospace. We had retired scientists from ISRO who were teaching us at the aerospace faculty. And we submitted the proposal at NASA. And guess what? Guess what? I mean, it was unbelievable for me as well as for everyone. We got third rank. We were selected third rank all over the world, and I was also invited to present the design concept at NASA Langley Research Center in Virginia. And when I got this news, I was on the ninth cloud. I would really like to quote here that you have to follow your heart, and world will collude with you to make your desire come true. I still remember the day when director sir, now he's the vice chancellor, pro vice chancellor, who gave me the name called NASA girl. I really thank you thank you for that. That was very famous across my hometown later on. And SRM University sponsored my complete trip to NASA, and now it was my turn to fly to the United States. That day, and just the day before I fly, my father visited the university in SRM University and met Dr. Balakrishnan sir, who was the head of the department at that time, and asked a question: how can I send my daughter alone to the United States, who has never been before abroad? And I think his question was genuine. I was not even having a smartphone at that time. In 2011. I was just 21 years old at that time, and my professor gave a reply to my father saying that she is our little Abdul Kalam, and don't underestimate her. She will represent the nation and the university with flying colors. I was really shocked. I was really, by seeing his confidence in me, I was touched, and I think that was a turning point of my life when I saw that my professors and my faculty is having such a confidence in me that I can present that built up my confidence, self-confidence. I reached Virginia in 2011 November, and on the day when before my presentation at NASA, I hardly could sleep. I practiced my presentation in front of the mirror, made sure that I'm prepared for all questions. In the audience, there were scientists from NASA and all the aviation industry in US who were working in the eco-friendly aircraft sector. And I successfully gave the presentation there, and also received the award for the team from Dr. Faye Collier. It was really amazing to see how much people respect in abroad or in US or in NASA, to be specific. It was really very inspiring for me. And after coming back from US, I was extra energized. I formed a science club at my university, and also motivated several students across the schools and universities in my hometown. But yeah, I would also like to mention that success often brings more enemies as well rather than friends. And also came up with the comments that, Sweety, it might be just luck. You might have got an award because might be a luck factor. And so I would like to quote here again that don't take rest after your first victory, because if you fail in your second, more lips are waiting to say that the first victory was just a luck. So in the successive year, I decided to participate once again in the NASA Green Aviation Challenge, which was this time to design eco-friendly unmanned cargo aircraft. And you know what, friends? This time I bet my own previous record, and I won second rank all over the world. And my team and we completely gave a different innovative design. In the same year, the team under my leadership won third rank internationally in the AIAA Space Vehicle Design Challenge with a business plan for space tourism. I'm really happy that my team could make it, and we came up with the flying colors there. I presented some few other research papers in the conference in Paris, and SRM really supported everywhere, sponsored all trips and papers and registrations to the conference. So I'm really thankful for SRM's management and aerospace faculty to support me everywhere. Even before I graduated from the university in 2013, the award-winning undergrad, I would say, resulted into a position at German Aerospace Center in DLR, which is the space agency of Germany. And I worked for a period of almost for a year, and mostly on the aircraft, innovative aircraft designs and concurrent engineering. So concurrent engineering is basically a different methodology to design complex systems. And after this amazing experience, I was dedicated to continue my higher education and got enrolled into TU Delft, which is one of the best universities as well for aerospace engineering. I did my space engineering from that university. During that university, I also stick to my mantra of learning the subject in a practical way. So that's a important advice for all the friends who would be watching this, juniors, that it's important that you learn your subject in a practical way, and try to understand your books and your concepts while building it. So I was selected in Delft Aerospace Rocket Engineering Stratus 2 rocket team. And I would like to mention that I was the only girl in the technical team. So a message to the girls that don't be afraid to jump into a field where it is male dominating or something. So you will be, if you like it, you just follow your dreams. And in that team, I was really supported. I worked with designing the rocket, also manufacturing the components on the lathe machine, 3D printing, testings, everything. So in 2015, the rocket was ready, and we launched it from Spain, INTA. So during the launch campaign, I was also selected to go to the launch site with the crew, and there was a long story for it as well. So Discovery Channel followed us in Spain, and at the very last moment of the launch, we had a problem with the fuel valve, and the launch was cancelled for that day. So either we had an option to go back to Netherlands or fix it in Spain. So the whole night, we together as a team, we tried to fix it and make sure that it's ready for the last launch window that was just the next day. And this time the rocket flew and lift off and was successfully also recovered, which made around 21.5 kilometers altitude, European altitude record. And later, so that was really exciting. That was one of the best experiences of my life, to be a part of a launch of a rocket. And then I moved to do my master thesis in Thales Alenia Space, which is in Torino, in Italy. And Italy is really beautiful place, amazing people, and lovely food. I actually started my thesis there, but definitely there were a lot of challenges when I was doing my thesis as well. So my thesis was in an industry, and there were my professor had different expectations, and my industrial and the industry was having different goals. So to meet these expectations, I was working more than 18 hours sometimes, and even could not sleep. Those were the most difficult days of my life, and with a very steep learning curve. Uh, maybe simple thing that I would like to also say, when you are doing your thesis or in your life, when things don't go well or they go against you, you have to always remember that rocket lift off even against the wind, and it's not with it. So finally, after the research of around 1 year, I successfully developed a design platform for the company where they can do the feasibility studies of re-entry vehicles, and also derived an optimized space vehicle concept from that platform. And ultimately, the results were actually was very appreciated by the both parties, so by the university and the company. And I graduated in 2007. Later, I also worked with the SGSC, which is Space Generation Advisory Council, as an analog, as a backup analog astronaut and a Capcom for Polar Mars analog mission. And it was really exciting project where I could actually become an astronaut, at least on the ground, and my dreams came true. Later, inspired by the new methodologies, I worked for concurrent engineering. I worked at Siemens for 2 years, and now I'm working in the satellite operations as a satellite operations engineer at Qinetiq. So maybe I would also like to say something to the friends that confidence is something that taught me over the years, and it's very important that we become the best version of ourselves and try to understand what we are best at. And everyone can do this, because confidence truly is the key of getting ahead in life. If you believe in yourself, I think world will believe in you, because perception is reality. And you cannot wait for an opportunity, and destiny is really not going to knock your door. You have to recognize the opportunities, because there will be a lot of them that come in your life. Once you recognize this opportunity, you have to just seize the day and work bloody hard, because there will be a lot of other people who will be also working towards the same goals, and you have to give your best shot. And now, coming back to what I'm currently doing, so I'm now working as an operations engineer, satellite operations engineer. I'm involved in ground breaking space missions with the European Space Agency. It's called Algiers satellite, where we are focusing on ozone monitoring. There's another satellite that I'm working on, is QKD-SAT, where we are working on giving a secured communication through quantum key distributions. I'm leading the work packages in my projects, as well as I'm the project lead for a European Space Traffic Management project, where there are around 19 companies working together from Europe space industries to define the regulations and new guidelines for future space operations. I'm also the member for American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics Space Operations Support Technical Committee. So it's an international committee where I'm working together with the scientists and engineers from the leading space agencies, including NASA, to provide all the aspects of space operations by exchanging the knowledge among the space community. And as already mentioned by Shilpa, and I'm also working as I'm also working for the Women in Aerospace as a leader, and trying to promote STEM, and as well as giving more visibility to women across the globe, to motivate them, as well as burning the fire in their hearts to make their dreams alive. And from this platform, I would also like to once again thank for SRM University Management and Aerospace faculty for your blessings and support. What I am there today, I think the foundation was built from SRM, and I'm very, very happy and very thankful. I still have a long way to go. This is just the beginning. I hope to continue further to contribute to the betterment of the humankind. And I hope my journey so far, I know it was very long speech, but I hope my journey so far inspires you. There is none of us that was not destined to be successful. You have dreams and you have goals, and I promise no one or nobody can stop you. Once again, happy International Women's Day in advance. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Your words really inspired all of us to reach for the skies and aim for the stars. You have certainly set an example for us.
Thank you.
Okay, moving ahead, we will have a short panel discussion. So, our first question is, how do you balance work life and personal life? Anyone can answer this.
Shilpa, ma'am, would you like to answer this question?
Sure, I think it's to one is to have prioritization, like prioritize what is the most important piece that you got to do. And so I look at life as a marathon with intermittent sprints. So that, and when you're in that marathon, it's about building that. And again, I come back to discipline and habits. So self care, taking care of yourself, making time for your family, because that would be elements like anything that enriches you in your life and makes you feel better, gives you motivation, gives you confidence, focusing your energy and time onto that, and also knowing that there would be moments when, or days or weeks when actually you would have to prioritize your work a lot more, right? Because it will be like in a cyclical thing. So for me, prioritization becomes extremely important. The second thing is to actually upskill yourself, because the more skilled you become, what has taken you 1 hour would take you half an hour at a later point of time. And also having like a great support system, I think really helps in being able to balance your work and life.
Thank you, ma'am. That was really useful. Hema, ma'am, would you like to add something to this?
Yeah, sure. I think Shilpa has covered most of the things I want to cover in this question. So yes, I agree with Shilpa. One thing I would say is meticulous planning. So just plan your day ahead. See before you sleep for the sleep before night, you just what are the set of items I need to do tomorrow, and how am I going to do it? What are my priorities? Second thing is get as much as support, right? From work, also in at home. So I without your family support, you wouldn't be able to succeed. At the same time, without your team support, you wouldn't be able to succeed at work. So it's a balance, right? In order to strike this work-life balance, get plan and get support as much as possible.
Thank you, ma'am, for those useful tips. Sweetie, ma'am, would you like to add something?
Yeah, well, Shilpa Didi and Hema Didi have already covered a lot of things, but definitely management is very important when you have to balance a life, and family support, your friends support is very important when you are working in such field. So yeah, I think that sums up all the points.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. What do you think is the most significant barrier in your career? Sweetie, ma'am, would you like to answer this?
Well, it really depends on the scenario, and everybody is having a different journey in their life. So I cannot generalize the barriers, but definitely some of the major barriers that we see in life is the support from your family. Sometimes for girls, it's like family don't want you to go in certain field, or there might be some obstacles like that. I was very lucky to have a family, or my parents were really supportive for me, but such kind of challenges do happen. And I would like to say that it's really just follow your dreams, and that's very important for achieving something. Hurdles, yeah, there might be really a lot of hurdles as well. I've been it's not a great platform to share the details of the hurdles, but yeah, you might have hurdles in your professional life or in your personal life, and it's very important that you find a solution. I would also like to suggest that being a young professional, is very important that we have mentors in our life, like mentors who are not very qualified, like who have already achieved something. You should not choose them. You should choose those who are just 2 or 3 steps ahead from you, so you can really relate your life with them, and follow your career trajectory behind them. Or you don't have to copy them, but definitely you can learn the experiences they are going through, and if they are from your field, then that's a win-win situation. But definitely that would be something that I can suggest. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Heba ma'am, would you like to add something?
Yeah, sure. So for me, like personally, the main barrier in the career is mindset, right? So some of the barriers doesn't come from outside. It's like we thinking ourselves like, can I do it? Like just like having that question in mind. So once I break the barrier, I think we move to the next level. So for me, like the barrier was like my mindset. So once I changed it, I was able to succeed in the life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Shilpa ma'am, what is your opinion?
Yeah, I think we've covered two aspects of it. One is our own intrinsic mindset, and the other is the environmental factors, the support system, and all. Just want to add in one more point, which is that a lot of times we can get trapped in the concept that we don't have the resources to do something. But actually, more than having the resources, there's a concept of resourcefulness, which is it's okay even if you don't have an access to a particular person right now, but do you know somebody who can then connect you with that person? Right, that's resourcefulness. Similarly, even with respect to like how much funds you have, you may not have it right now with you, but do you know somebody who can help you and support you, give you a direction? So I think us chasing and thinking that we don't have the resources right now can be a barrier for a lot of things. But then remembering the term resourcefulness is something that will help us overcome that barrier. So that's it.
Thank you, ma'am, for your input. The next question is, who inspired you in your life? Sweetie, ma'am, would you like to answer this?
Yeah, definitely. First inspiration comes from my parents. I think mother is the first inspiration, I think, for almost all of us. And second inspiration is my father. Well, I will not take family here, but definitely, um, other than family, for being an aerospace engineer, Pune Chawla was an idol for me. Then Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, amazing personality whom I got an opportunity to meet. I think would be my idea. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Shilpa, ma'am, who is your inspiration?
I think it's very similar to what Sweety said. It started with my parents. Like, so I think the way I look at inspiration is there are certain specific aspects that different people bring in, and when I see that, I'm usually inspired by it. And either that's different from what I do, or it's aspirational. Like somebody who is like extremely tenacious, and that way just going through life, whatever comes. Very early, you learn from them that just by observing them, reading about them. So I wouldn't say there's this one person who's been an inspiration, but and like when you're a student of life, you are inspired by things all around you. Like there are different things, different circumstances. Like I would like my sister's 10 years younger than me. But the way she thinks is something that I'm inspired by. I'm like for somebody who's 21 is able to think with this level of clarity and with this level of complexity. So I get inspired by that as well. So I think inspiration is an everyday thing that happens. And also you get inspired by also reflecting in and being like, okay, I never thought I could overcome this challenge, but I did. So I need to remember that as well. As much as we look at the things we need to improve upon, just remembering the things that we could do helps us when we face another challenge too. And that's how I see
Thank you.
inspiration.
Thank you, ma'am. Hema, ma'am, who is your inspiration?
So again, I agree with both of you. So for me, the first inspiration is definitely my parents, right, and my family. And as you move forward, you inspire from everyone around you, right? So for talking about my parents, they even wake up at 3:30 even today. Every day they do it, and they're in a small business. And why can't do at this age? Why can't I? So I wake up, I do learn new things, do some new things, right? So that is something my kids take it from me. So that's something that's passing through generation, and inspiring from everyone around me. So I take inspirations literally from everyone. If I see my husband, he works literally very hard. I sometimes imagine do I take do I put that much effort, so that is something, right? And everyone, each one brings some taste in your life. So you just enjoy and inspire from them, and then you put it in apply it in your life. So that's what inspiration mean to me.
Thank you so much, ma'am. What is the one habit that you think helped you reach where you are today? I would like to start with Sweety, ma'am.
I think patience. Patience is something that is very important, and yeah, I've been keeping hands on a lot of things at a time, and uh, so I think patience, hard work, and dedication towards the field. That's three things that I would really like to say. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Hema, ma'am.
Yeah, I would say don't be afraid to make mistakes. Learn from each other. Be a lifelong student, and just work towards your goal. You will achieve all success.
Yeah, that's true. Shilpa, ma'am.
I think it's persistence, positivity, because whatever happens, it's going to work out. Just having that blind faith and belief. So persistence, positivity, and curiosity. I think I'm very curious as a person about other people, how things work, all of those. So these three things is what I would say for myself. I think has helped me so far.
Thank you, mom. The next question is, what is the advice you would give the next generation of female leaders? Hey, mom, would you like to answer this?
Sure. So for next female leaders, I would say just any any achievement, don't there will be barriers, or you'll be the first one to do it, right? So just lead the way. Don't be afraid, and help other female leaders to come in the position where you are. So it's all about helping each other, right? So like go lead the way, and then bring others in your position, and then make space for the table, sit in the table, and don't think okay, I should be the only person who should be sitting in the table. So make space for other people, other female leaders along with you. Take them along with your journey. That's what I would say.
Thank you so much, mom. Shilpa, mom?
Yeah, I think one is be the adult that you would have wanted in your life. I think that's one phrase I heard somewhere. It really stuck with me because I'm like, that puts so much into perspective where I would want to stand up and be the kind of person I would have wanted in my life, right? I'm growing up. And there have been people like that. So just I think have that. And the other thing is forget gender, forget everything. Just if you have a dream, go for it. And it's not going to be easy. I think all our stories, when Sweety was saying it was so inspiring that there's so much that effort that goes in, hard work that goes in, but do whatever it takes, for as long as it takes to be able to achieve your goal. While you do it with other people, I love what Hema just said, have other people on the table with you, not
Yes,
just
mom, that is so true.
yourself.
Sweetie, mom?
Yeah, definitely. It's very important that for team leader, it's very important to have a very good team. And without a good team, a team leader is of no use. So definitely, I think taking everybody along is very important and showing a right direction, following a path which might have not been explored before. So as a leader, it's very important to have the courage in your heart to follow a path which is not been explored before and take everybody together.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. What is the one leadership lesson you have learned in your career? Let's start with Shilpa, ma'am.
I think it's about being there and showing up. Like whatever role you take on, be it whether you're managing people or even when you're starting off as an intern, all the way to if you're leading an organization. For me, it's about you being there, like being present, and it changes roles. Like what it means to be there changes over time. But just be there and give your heart and mind into it. That I think is one lesson that I have learned and I have been practicing. And even like the topmost leadership schools teach you, say that. That's what leadership is about. It's about being there.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Sweetie, ma'am.
I think I agree with Shilpa Didi, and it's very, very important that we follow the passion towards the field with the leadership qualities. It's like I've been leading a lot of organizations, and I've been always facing this thing that it's important to gather everybody together in a same thought. Or there are like people are from different backgrounds and they have their different thoughts. So it's very important to understand which will be the best idea to go forward and iterating those ideas together. It's very important. Keeping everybody happy with the with the choice of the decision that you make. It's very important.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Shilpa, ma'am, would you like to add something more?
Sure. So for me, most important leadership skill is communication. So again, summarizing like what Shilpa and like Sweety said, like you be there and then like communicate to your like team and like like to your leaders too, right? So it has to go from like both top down and like bottom up approach. So you just like communicate. Sometimes you over communicate, but like over communicate is never like never no one is going to say like oh, I know this already, right? So everyone wants whatever happens, whatever things. So just like again, like you communicate, like you have to communicate to the right content to the right person at the right time. So that is also very important. So I think that's the most important leadership skill, I would say.
Very thoughtful, ma'am. Thank you. Would you like to describe your day during lockdown and what are the significant changes that came in your life due to this? Shilpa, ma'am, would you like to answer this?
Sure. During lockdown, it's always been an order. When I wake up, I meditate, then I do some yoga, then I have something to eat, and then I start my work. So that's always been the case. So all of that was in place. I think the big difference was that I had to also cook, clean, and do everything. All of those chores were part of like got added on, and the lack of being able to get out of the house because I am quite a social person. So just the fact that you had to stay in at home was one thing that was significantly different. But that being said, I think very soon, like 2 3 days into lockdown, we figured out that all of us, like me, the set of my friends, all of us knew we liked engaging with each other. So everything went virtual. So evenings after 6, this like about following a routine really helped. So I did have a routine and also having different spaces. So I would work out of a particular room. So that became like an office space, and I would be, like if I'm relaxing, that would get a different space. So just creating normalcy in the times when things were not normal was literally what my day was like, and a lot of exploring with various different dishes. I don't cook much, but during that lockdown, that was something I very actively did. And that was like the major changes, going out and hyper sanitizing everything. So those were I think the big changes that did come up during the lockdown. But otherwise, like I did try to maintain the normalcy of the everyday routine, just to keep the sanity going. Otherwise, it's really harder to manage.
Yes, ma'am. Everything going virtual does require more effort. Hema, ma'am, would you like to answer this?
Yeah, sure, I can go ahead. So during the COVID days, like, I would say, like, one of the blessing that happened is like with the family. Yes, like, you work, but at the same time, like, just like get out of the room, like, you will get to see your, like, family how they're there. So, but like at work, like, pre-COVID, so my work was like, it was like a, what do you say, like, it's like a vehicle, right? Like you run, like you wake up in the morning, prepare for breakfast, send your kids to school, drop your kids at school, and like, you just like travel in the car, like get to the office, like, get into the meeting, give instructions, like lead them, and then inside them, and then like come in the evening again, like, like just take care of the family, like, just prepare for the next day. It was like in a vicious cycle. But like, in the post-COVID time, I would say it's a really a blessing, because just like getting some more time for yourself, like to focus and reflect, where you are in the career, like in your life, like what do you want to go next. So that time I really got like for myself. And the second one is like, again, like when I was in during pre-COVID, I used to think like, now my kids are like very small. So what is my baby doing? Like, like, so all those things are run in my mind, right? So this COVID time made me like, be in the present situation. I know that, like, they are at my home, like, they are doing their school work. If I want, like, I can like just step away and like see and like come back and like do my work. So that happened, like, that's a blessing, I would say. So, and then, like, like at the same time, like, I'm still like connecting with my office, like, giving doing the same like, inspiring work. So I think this is my like, COVID days, and I'm really thankful and grateful for this.
Thank you, ma'am. That was very insightful. Sweetie, ma'am, would you like to add something?
Yeah, well, as both of them said that each, I think I would just like to summarize it a little bit. Each coin has two sides, and I'm actually well. There are disadvantages as well, but I would also like to add on the positive points that happened with the lockdown. I get a lot of time. I don't have to really travel to my office. All those 2 hours at least of the day are safe that I can use to spend time talking to my family or friends and doing catching up with my hobbies sometimes other than the routine life which is very hectic. Sometimes you have to go to the office and workload, and when you're coming back, cleaning and cooking and everything is there. So that's difficult to maintain. So I'm happy some ways, but it's not good to have a lockdown for a year. So I'm also missing my office, missing my colleagues there, where we I was actually used to work together. So that was fun part. Um, yeah, there are positives and negatives, and I'm actually after COVID, people are expecting that there will be a hybrid way of working, and people can work from home, from office, depending on their situations, and it will be very easy to convince your managers that yes, we can work from home. So I think that's something good.
Yes, mom. Thank you for focusing on the positive side also. Uh,
Thank you so much, ma'am. This is really a very interesting question. How do you move forward when everyone is telling you that your idea won't work? I would like to start with Shilpa, ma'am.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? I couldn't hear it.
Yes, yes, definitely. How do you move forward when everyone is telling us that your idea won't work?
I feel like it doesn't matter. For me, like people can say whatever they want to say. You do it, and then if it doesn't work, that's still okay. Like people, like for me, it's just about tuning out everything, but also doing your groundwork. Like if you believe in an idea, I'm sure it also comes from the amount of research you've done, the amount of understanding you've done, and if there isn't enough things backing it, if it's something completely new, you're not like by trying something that people say will not work, it'll only help you either to prove them wrong, right? That it does work, or at least you learn something from that. So there is no loss in it. It's just believe in yourself. And I'm sure if there are 100 people saying that it's not going to work, there might be one person who's saying it is working. Believe in that and go for it. I think we give a lot of importance to the voice of the negative, like something is not working, and rather than the people who say it could work. So, or rather, just hear yourself. So, just doesn't matter for me. That's the file answer itself.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was really inspiring. Hema, ma'am, would you like to add something?
I completely 100% agree with, so if someone says like, you can't do it, just to at least like not prove them wrong, at least just to prove yourself. No, I can do it. So just go for it, right? So just take that instead of as a hindrance, take that as a motivation factor, and work towards say that once you complete it, you just come and say I did it. That's it, right?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Sweetie, ma'am.
Yes, I think, well, the inventions, if you think about the inventions, how they are happening, so it's generally everybody's saying that it's not going to work, and then you file your invention and it works. So it's, I think, you have to just go with your heart. If you think it's correct, it's correct, and if it's not selected or if people don't approve it, what is you learn from it that one mistake you at least understand, okay, this procedure is not the approach that you have to follow for your invention. So you try the second point and you start. It's kind of a trade-off studies. You have to try out all your options one by one. You will fail by 99%, but 1% will be your success. Yeah.
Thank you, mom. Our next question is being a woman, have you ever faced any discrimination in your work life? Um, Shilpa, ma'am, would you like to answer this question?
I think I've been so I have faced it in the academic side of things. Very early in my academics, I have faced that where I wasn't selected for a particular role to lead, a team after me having worked at that for multiple years, saying that, and I was told because I'm a girl. Like, it's not even like they hid the fact that I'm a girl. So I have had that experience, but that was from an academic side, but not when it came to career. In fact, I was working in a workplace where we had a policy where there was no gender discrimination that was there. Everybody in the leadership role were women. Just women empowerment was not about women empowerment. Human empowerment was what we were focused on. So I got very lucky from that angle. Professionally, no, I haven't. But I also do realize that right now, when I am venturing out on my own, I do know that there is a lot of, you're young, you're a woman, like, do I take you seriously kind of a thing. These are things that I'm prepared to face. So I'm like, I know it's coming my way, but I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm just going to do what I'm going to do kind of a thing.
Thank you, ma'am, for your input. Hema, ma'am, would you like to add to this?
Sure. Yes, if you ask me, have you ever been discriminated? Yes, but does it matter? No. Whenever, you see, some discrimination, speak up, right? Like, whether it's, man or woman, it doesn't matter. So you need to, create an environment where everyone has to say, something, equally valued, right? So if you see somewhere, if, sometimes, it happened to you, sometimes it happens to others, right? So in those situations, speak for others, speak up all the time, like, speak up. So kill the discrimination, I would say.
Thank you, ma'am, for that motivating speech. Sweetie, ma'am, would you like to add something?
Yeah, well, for my personal experience, it's been a long journey, and definitely you come across such situations in your life when you feel like you're being discriminated. But I'm really happy in my current job or in my current environment that I have created after several years. I am confident that even if people might be having that discrimination, I don't even see that because I'm really focused in what I want to do and achieve in life. I just ignore what people are saying, and I just focus on my own things and try to make best out of what options I have.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. The next question is, do you think that position matters while working in an organization? Hema, ma'am, what is your opinion?
Sorry, there was a break. Is that a question, and not whom it was addressed to?
It was addressed to you, ma'am. If you would like to add something, do you think that position matters while working in organization?
Sorry, what is the question?
Do you think that position matters while working in an organization?
I'm really sorry. I think there is a big. I just heard like, do you think?
Not an issue, ma'am. I can repeat it again. Do you think that position matters while working in an organization?
No, it doesn't matter at all. So like you just like whenever something happens, like you just like take accountability of it. So whether you be an analyst or an associate or a vice president, even the MD, it doesn't matter. So this is your business. You are running the business. So like just like running as if like you are like breathing, right? So position doesn't matter at all. Like sometimes like it will take you like if you do your work like that perfectly and like putting your like mind, heart, everything. I think it will take you to those positions you want to go.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Shilpa, ma'am, what is your opinion?
I have two sides to it. One is that for yourself as a person, it doesn't have to matter what position you're in for you to really do good work because it's about the amount of effort you're putting in, how good you are at what you're doing. You almost can become indispensable for an organization. But that being said, positions give you leverage, and that is a reality too. So I feel like that is something that is easy if you are in a particular leadership role. The amount of influence you can make, the amount of leverage that you have is significantly more. So I wouldn't say that. I would say both. It is important, but it's not like you have to wait for yourself to be in a particular position to actually make a difference in that organization.
I completely agree, ma'am. Thank you so much. Sweetie, ma'am.
I agree with Shilpa Didi and Hema Didi both. Definitely, there are both the sides that are very important to understand. It really depends on which field you are working and what is your current role. For my position, if I look, it's not necessary for me to be the CEO to design the satellite because then I will be never be able to design the satellite because they just really work on paper. They have to give the approvals and take the decisions. But if I'm really passionate about building a satellite, then I have to be an engineer. I have to be in the design team. So it really depends what you want to do in your life. When I talk about the other fields, like for example, making an influence. For example, I work for Women in Aerospace organization. There I'm leading. So if I'm a leader, I can really reach out to a lot of people, make influence. I can tell them what's going on. I can take decisions there. So it's two different aspects that you have to really look into, and that's up to you what you want to do in your life. Yeah. So
That was really interesting. Thank you, ma'am. The next question is: what is one leadership lesson that you have learned in your career? Sweetie, ma'am, would you like to answer this?
can you repeat the question? Sorry.
What is the one leadership lesson that you have learned in your career?
I think it's a summary of all the discussions that we have been doing, but definitely courage, confidence, uh, that has actually built on over the years, and I think that's one of the lessons that I have learned from leading or working in different organizations, taking right decisions. Well, you can take wrong decisions as well, but it's you learn from it, and definitely those are the aspects of leadership.
Thank you, ma'am, for your advice. Shilpa, ma'am?
I think for me, the whole phrase that says this, you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go with people. I think that's one leadership plus. Like time and again, I know that it's because of the team I have worked with, I have managed or who have supported me. I've been able to do a lot of what I've been able to do. Right. So I think that whole aspect of you going with is, I think, one of feeling, like Hema brought up earlier, just communication is one of those pieces of having a team. So there are so many pieces, but building that team, and building that family within your work is something that I feel is so important. When I say family, I mean support system at work is a big part of leadership for me.
Thank you, Mom. We will definitely remember that. Hey, Mom, would you like to answer this question?
Sure. So one important leadership lesson I learned is giving feedback. So when you are in a leadership position, people look up to you. So that is up to you, how you shape their career in the future. So giving feedback is an important aspect of my leadership. So if someone if they do some good things, you just go appreciate them, and at the same time, if you think they can achieve some more, just give them feedback, constructive feedback. It's not that you didn't do this work. Instead, if you would have done this work this would have been have great reach or something like that, right? So that will help them shape their future, and at the same time help them to okay, I got the feedback, I did this one, and I corrected this. Then I will be giving the same feedback to others. That will help others to do the same thing, right? To get inspired from each and every one, right? So I think that giving feedback is the most important aspect for leadership, I would say.
Yes, ma'am, I completely agree with you. Thank you so much. Our next question is, how can we as a leader be more supportive and be able to understand others better? Sweetie, ma'am?
Well, for understanding others, it's very important that you understand and accept that different multiple brains process in different way and they have different ideas, and it's very important that you accept this fact. And everybody is unique and every idea is unique. So you, as a leader, it's very important that you take the ideas from your team and process that in an equal level, not like, okay, he or she is very senior or having an experience, that you just accept that idea rather than taking some fresh ideas from the team who would be really thinking out of the box. So I'm a person who likes to give things to my team and take the maximum input from them, and then have an iterative idea about selecting the best one, and or not even selecting the best one, but combining all the best ideas into one, and then that would be my idea to go forward with the team, and everybody's happy with that actually.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Shilpa, ma'am, would you like to add something?
Yes. Actually, I just, when the question came in, I just made note of 4 points. I think the first one is awareness of yourself, your abilities, your shortcomings, as well as the context that you're in. I think that's one thing that's really important. The second thing is empathy, like being empathic towards your team and the people there, like understanding them and being able to stand in their shoes and understand where they're coming from. Third is curiosity, because when you're going in with curiosity, you're not questioning, like questioning of, you're not questioning the intention. You're rather trying to understand why, how a person thinks, and you're trying to understand what kind of support they require to be able to give it. Because if you think I know the answers to everything and this is what the person needs, but it may not be what they actually require. That's a curiosity. The last one, the third, fourth one is acceptance. Like just being accepting of things as is primarily, rather than losing your cool and all of that. And the final piece is trust. I feel like most people are doing the best that they can in that current circumstances, knowledge, understanding, skill set, and all of it. So if you're able to trust in that, okay, there are outliers. There might be cases where somebody is actually meaning, ill, but 99.9% of the time, it's about the fact that everybody's trying the best that they can. So if you go in with that mindset, you'll always be coming in from a space of support rather than, having like a stick method when you're working and engaging with.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Hema, ma'am?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, both Shilpa and Sweety has covered the how one what, but to add only one thing is listen, right? So just when someone comes with something which you agree or don't agree, they just just listen to them what they say, and as both of them always remember your hand, right? So if you see all your fingers are not the same, but if you want to flip something, you need both your hands, right? all 5 fingers, right? So each one has limb and different heights. So, but still they're all important part of your something whole. So similarly, every different aspect individual view is very important in order to make the team success. So first listen. That's it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, Hema ma'am, Shilpa ma'am, Sweety ma'am, for your valuable inputs. There is truly no limit to what we as women can accomplish, and it was well depicted in today's session. With that note, I would like to thank our honorable guests, Ms. Shilpa Manari, Ms. Sweety Pate, and Ms. Hema Sampath Kumar for taking out time from their busy schedule and sharing their valuable experiences with all of us. We hope that you continue to climb the ladder of success and make the entire SRM family proud. It has been an absolute pleasure to have you all with us today. I would also like to thank our director, Dr. Linus Jesu Martin, our coordinator, Mr. Nakul Mehrotra, and the alumni office for giving us the opportunity to host this event. I would also like to thank the audience for joining us and lending a patient ear. I would also like to thank SRMpedia and DSA for helping us with the publicity. Finally, a very special mention to the corporate, creatives, social media, and the content team of DAA, from ideating to implementing what we end today. With this, we conclude our today's session. This is Anushka,
And Revati,
your host, signing off. Thank you all for joining us on this fine evening.